Alligator mating season is here. Publix assists the police in capturing a shoplifter. BMW driver crashes into 3 golf carts. $35,000 will be spent at Sawgrass Grove to stop bad parking. An 88-year-old villager will be inducted into the village's softball Hall of Fame. Villagers are complaining about bad windows in their new homes. And what is happening to our movie theaters? This and more coming up. A villager who performs in a local band was arrested after an altercation during the Arts and Crafts Festival of Brownwood Paddock Square. Robert Xavier Murphy, 66 of the village of Finney, had been attempting to drop off his music equipment at about 8:30 a.m. Saturday at the square in preparation of his performance with the band The Analogs at a Brownwood restaurant, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. The percussionist, also known as Bongo Bob, wanted to drive his vehicle beyond the traffic barrier set up for the Arts and Crafts show, which drew an enormous crowd up to the squares over the Easter weekend. The members of the village's special events team informed Murphy, who stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 234 pounds, that the traffic barricade would remain in place. The Boston native became very aggressive and verbally abusive toward the event staff and grabbed one staffer by his shirt, according to a witness. Murphy's wife had accompanied her husband downtown and was shopping. She told the police she turned around and saw her husband and another person yelling in each other's face and pushing one another. Murphy spent 30 years in Fort Lauderdale, where he acquired the love and passion for percussionist due to its Latin flair, according to the biography, with the Analogs band. He plays the drums and bongos. Murphy moved to the villages to retire in 2017, but has been performing in a number of local bands. He was arrested on charges of battery and booked a Suffolk County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $500 bond. A villager was killed in a driveway accident after she failed to properly place her vehicle into park. The 62-year-old, shortly after 4 p.m. Saturday, had been backing out of the driveway on Fringe Tree Trail when her sport utility vehicle hit another SUV parked on the opposite side of the street near Knotty Pine Terrace in the village of St. Charles, according to the accident report. She pulled forward in the driveway and got out of the vehicle to inspect the damage. She failed to put her SUV in a park, and she was run over by her own vehicle, causing her death. That's a shame. That is a real shame. This is another reason why I'm against parking on the street like that. When you park your car on the side of the road, look on the other side of the road. Are you directly in front of somebody's driveway? If you are, you're in an area where people have hard times turning their necks. They don't see very well. They're not paying attention. They're talking on their cell phone. They'll back into your car. A villager has been ordered to seek an alcohol evaluation after driving his SUV in the wrong direction on U.S. Highway 27 and 441. Brian Archer Davis, 72, of the village of Dunedin, this past week in Lake County Court pleaded no contest to a charge of driving under the influence and has been placed on probation for 1 year, will lose his driver's license for 6 months, and has been ordered to perform 50 hours of community service, though he can buy out at a rate of $10 per hour. He had been ordered not to possess or consume alcohol, as well as to seek an alcohol evaluation and follow any recommended treatment. The native New Yorker was driving a white SUV on January 17th, was traveling south on the northbound lanes of U.S. Highway 27 and 441 near the intersection of Lady Lake Boulevard, according to the arrest report. I'm not sure exactly where that is. That could be the construction area right there. I'm not cutting him slack, but I'm just saying I could see getting confused inside that construction area the way it's set up. Police officer intervened in the situation by placing his patrol car in front of Davis's SUV. It appeared Davis had been drinking, and he told the officer he was unaware he had been driving in the wrong direction. The officer attempted to walk Davis, who had apparently soiled his pants, to a nearby sidewalk. Davis refused to take part in field sobriety exercises and refused to provide breath samples. These poor cops. A car landed in a flower bed in a crash in a roundabout Saturday afternoon in the villages. The accident occurred at about 4 p.m. in the roundabout on Buena Vista Boulevard near the entrance to the village of Bonnybrook, south of County Road 466. Two vehicles had been northbound on Buena Vista Boulevard when one of the drivers tried to make a left turn in the roundabout and pulled into the other vehicle. Why are you making left turns in any of these roundabouts? That is just utterly ridiculous. The at-fault driver was ticketed for violation of the right-of-way. There were no injuries. The Sumter County Sheriff's offices and the Public Safety Department responded to the scene. Details of the accident were not immediately available. The road even bends to the right. All the printing, all the arrows and everything are pointed to the right. I don't understand anybody not understanding that. How long have we been driving and we still have trouble with this? A villager who earned praise after speaking out on golf course conditions contends more courses are needed to be added south of State Road 44. Tim Novak of the village of La Ronalda last month spoke out before the Village Center Community District Board of Supervisors about the poor conditions of golf courses. Let me just rush that real quick. They're always poor every year right after the snowbirds go home. They play these courses so much during the winter, so get used to it. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's been for the 10 years that I've been playing golf down here. It's that way every year when the snowbirds go home. This comment triggered an avalanche of complaints from villagers who said they are ashamed to take visitors to the courses in Florida's friendliest hometown. Now Novak is speaking out again, and he is calling on the villages to build more golf courses south of State Road 44. Currently, there are 36 executive golf courses north of State Road 44 with the population of 100,525. Actually, there are 59,132 residents, and the villages use the factor of 1.7 to estimate population. So there are 2,793 people per executive golf course north of State Road 44. I just love these numbers, guys. Life is just too short. He estimated that there are now more than 42,000 people living south of State Road 44. There should be 15 executive golf courses built in a developed area, but there are only 5, which leaves the villages short of 10 executive golf courses. The villages has only announced one additional executive golf course, Bel Air by Eastport, in an area that will house another 60,000 residents. That will leave the South short 30 executive golf courses. Where are the residents in the South going to play? In the villages? You guys are getting confused here. When you're a resident of the villages, everything in the villages is yours. You don't have to play here. You don't have to eat there. You don't have to go to that town square. You can go to any town square, so that's the concept. You can go to this country club. You can go to that country club. I can come down to your area, and it ain't your area. It's all of our areas. That's the concept. He argues that residents in the North are already suffering from golf request denials. Well, that is a problem. The championship golf courses are worse. They are currently short 12 sets of 9 holes. Only one additional 18 has been announced, Shallow Creek, growing grass this spring, and there are no cart paths yet for residents to get there. He contends the developer has chosen to save the cost of golf course construction at the same time profit from the sale of more homes. Well, that is his business. But as time goes on, he will be forced to start building the stuff like it is everywhere else because people will take notice. People do watch these YouTube channels and our opinions. And I get asked all the time, and it's a hard question to answer, but they're always asking, what's the best village there? First of all, it's an unfair question. Don't ask me that. But if you say, where's a good place to buy because I want to play a lot of pickleball? Fair question. Where's a good place to buy where I have access to a lot of golf courses? Technically, you got access to all the golf courses. This is all the villages, not the north side, not the south side. They always say that, but it's all the villages. It's one big city. You can go anywhere you want as a resident and play, join, anything. But if I was to say that somebody had to buy in an area where you have access to a lot of golf, there's probably a lot of places to go, but I got to tell you, as it is right now, Hillsboro, Dunedin, look on your maps, your villages, road maps, the whole area, Fernandino. I don't even know all the villages around here. This is a pretty good area. Something like 13 executive golf courses within a 10-minute golf cart ride, and 4 country clubs within a 10-minute golf cart ride. That's pretty good. Golf carts were stolen Thursday night from entertainment venues in the villages. Are you guys listening to me? The Sumter County Sheriff's Office fielded a report of a stolen golf cart at 9:19 p.m. Thursday at Sawgrass Grove. Prior to that, the Sheriff's Office also received at 8:20 p.m. Thursday a report of a stolen golf cart at Brownwood Paddock Square. In that incident, the golf cart had been parked in the vicinity of Keisel Road and Shady Nook Run. I don't know the story about all these golf carts here being stolen, but let me give you a scenario of what really kind of happens. Somebody drank too much. Somebody goes out to get in their golf cart. Usually it's after dark, and they find a red Yamaha. He gets in it, the key fits. Some of the carts, the keys will fit. Other carts, they don't do that. He takes it and he goes home. The other guy goes out to get in his golf cart, and he knows his golf cart because there's a sticker or there's something on top of the golf cart that lets him know this is my golf cart. His golf cart's gone. He calls police, reports it's stolen. Next day, the guy that took the wrong golf cart will call back up there, or he'll go back up there and say, hey, did anybody report their golf cart stolen or anything? He said, because I think I took this golf cart home. It's not mine. And he brings it back. They call the police. They get it all straightened out. Not a big deal. Same thing happens with golf clubs. Somebody stole my putter. There's 2 people per cart to play golf. He puts his putter in the wrong bag. Nobody stole it. They find it. So that's what happens a lot. A villager accused of trying to kill his wife appears ready to use an insanity defense. Well, you're pretty much insane. Legally insane? I wouldn't say that. George Albert Hatchie, 72, allegedly stabbed his wife 12 times on the morning of September 28th at their home in the village of Della Vista North. He is facing a charge of attempted first-degree murder. Hatchie is being represented by criminal defense attorney Jamie Washoe Spivey, who has filed a motion indicating an intent to rely on an insanity defense. A hearing on the motion is set for April 25 in Sumter County Court in front of Judge Mary Hatcher. In March, Hatchie was evaluated by Dr. Stephen Saunders, who filed a 22-page report indicating that insanity defense is warranted in this case. Well, we'll see how that turns out. There's more to it, but it's just the same old story. I've read that story on this guy, twice now? You know the rest. Love's in the air if you are an alligator. Courtship begins in April, and actual mating occurs in May or June. Nearly all alligators become sexually mature by the time they reach approximately 7 feet in length, although females can reach maturity at 6 feet. A female may require 10 or 15 years and a male 8 to 12 years to reach these lengths, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. To attack females, males' heads slap the water and produce a deep, rumbling bellow. Once a male-female pair is formed, they will swim together, touch each other's snouts, and blow bubbles. Ain't that cute? Mating takes place in the water, and when completed, the male disperses and the female is left to search for a place to build her nest. Females build a mound nest of soil, vegetation, or debris and deposit an average of 32 to 46 eggs in late June or early July. Incubation requires approximately 63 to 68 days, and hatching occurs from mid-August through early September. After completing the nest, the female will deposit all of her eggs at once and cover them up with more vegetation for incubation. She may move vegetation around to keep the eggs at a fairly constant temperature. Females stay near the nest during the incubation and actively defend it from predators like raccoons. Females may also be aggressive toward humans after hissing and charging at intruders, so alligator nests should never be approached. Well, right. We tell them not to feed them, and they do it anyway.
Oh, look at the cute little alligator. Let's get real close and take a picture of it.
A deputy, with the help of bystanders, captured a fleeing suspect at a Publix grocery store in the Villages. Timothy Francis Byrne, Jr., 46, of Lady Lake, was driving a white Suzuki passenger car on Thursday afternoon near Lake Deaton Plaza when he was being pursued by the Sumter County Sheriff's deputy, who had the lights and siren activated on the squad car. Byrne pulled to the front of a nearby Publix, jumped out of the car, and headed for the entrance of the store, activating the automatic opening of the front doors. The deputy ordered Byrne to stop, but Byrne told the deputy, "You are not a real cop." Deputy unholded his taser, and Byrne appeared to become compliant, telling the deputy, "I will get out on the ground." However, Byrne did not follow the deputy's commands and refused to be handcuffed. Byrne was arrested in 2021 after making threats to a woman in her own home. He was tasered twice, and 2 bystanders assisted the deputy in taking Byrne to the ground. Even after he was handcuffed and placed in a hobble restraint device, Byrne continued to resist arrest. He was found to be in possession of a clear plastic bag containing methamphetamine. Drugs, and more drugs. In 2019, Byrne was arrested after violating a court order issued to protect a woman living in the Villages. Be very careful who you pick as a boyfriend, girls. He was arrested on multiple charges and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. Bond was set at $27,000. A villager in a BMW was arrested on a drunk driving charge after crashing into golf carts at Brownwood. Andrea Lee Finney, 67, of the village of Lake Deaton, was arrested this past Wednesday as a result of a crash which occurred at the village's golf cart store on West Torch at Lake Drive, according to the arrest report. Bystanders called 911 after Feeney's blue 2021 BMW sport utility vehicle strayed from her lane and struck 3 golf carts parked outside the golf cart retailer. Those golf carts are on the sidewalk. I don't know, we'll see. She was still seated in the BMW when officers arrived at the scene. It appeared that she had been drinking. She was transported to UF Health, the village's hospital freestanding emergency room clinic at Brownwood for medical evaluation. Finney admitted she had been drinking and said she had 1 sangria and 2 margaritas. I asked them to make them weak. I've got a feeling she's not telling the truth. She refused to provide breath samples. Feeney was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. She was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. Well, get ready to hire that big high-dollar attorney. A persistent bad parking problem has forced officials to spend $35,000 on landscaping at the Sawgrass Grove entertainment venue in the Villages. I went to Sawgrass on the grand opening day. It's a great area. I could see right there when I looked at it, I thought this isn't going to be big enough. It's not a square. It's not the 4 square that we've all talked about. That's going to be down at the new area. But this is just an entertaining type area and shopping also. It's a great area. But when I seen the stage and saw the seating capacity, I just thought, and the parking, remember I said on my video, I said the parking is a little small, people here ain't going to want to walk. And this is proof. They'll go up and park everywhere they can. They'll park on the square if they can. I don't know that this is the problem, but I guarantee you that there's a golf cart trail that kind of goes in front of O'Grady's there. I'll bet you they're parking on that grassy area right there, and that's a no-no. So they're going to have to put in trees and plants and flowers and chirping birds and whatever else to keep people from doing stupid stuff, costing everybody a bunch of money. We all pay this. I pay this. I'm paying now to have landscaping put in because people just can't park where they're supposed to park. Sawgrass Grove, which features McGrady's Pub and the Boxcar Stage, has rapidly developed a following since opening this past fall. Golf cart parking quickly became a problem when villagers began parking on a grassy area never intended for parking. With the drought and the beating taken from golf carts on a daily basis, the turf has become severely damaged. It'll just kill it. Project-wide advisory committee members on Monday learned the new landscaping of Sawgrass Grove will cost about $35,000. The intent is to block the area where golf carts have been parked. We didn't think about putting up a no parking sign. They never work. I'm reading this for the first time, like you guys are hearing it maybe. They never work. In the villa areas, just ask them. There's areas there that are designated for guest parking only. And they're always full because people want to buy 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, whatever the case may be, and they park them in the guest parking, leave them there. They got signs there now saying guest parking only. Do you think they moved their cars? No. Number one question to ask when you buy a home here, when you start asking about some of the things that might be on your mind, like street parking, can you street park? Or, I don't know, ask whatever you want. And then when they give you an answer, if it's not the answer you want, or if it is the answer you want, just simply ask them at that time, who enforces that rule? Get it in writing if you can, because I'm here to tell you, they don't enforce anything. We didn't think about putting up no parking signs, asked PWAC member Steve Bova, a supervisor from Community Development District 10. Spending $35,000 for bad behavior is a little offensive to me. Well, ain't that precious? District Manager Kenny Blocker said experience has shown that signs don't work. He's exactly right. They don't work. Even though there are more than 200 parking spots, including 8 handicap spots between Sawgrass Grove and the adjacent Zell Recreation Center, parking appears to have developed into a problem at the venue, which has quickly grown in popularity. Well, people don't want to walk. And to be fair, a lot of people can't walk that far. They have hip problems, knee problems, balance issues. So you have to stop and think about that also, developer, when you're making places like this. Where are those people going to park that can't walk very far? I don't think you're using your head when it comes to some of this parking, such as, I can't think of the name of it, that one pitch and putt place down there. No parking for cars. So people have to park in front of other people's houses. And they've been nothing but raising hell about it since day one. These college kids. Set them to school, all they do is eat the books. Tommy DeSalva is being inducted into the Villages Softball Division III Hall of Fame. He may be 88, but DeSalva still has some pep in his step. He called me the other night, said son Scott, who is here for the induction ceremony. When the rest of the inductees will be announced, my dad said, I was out in the Villages and I had a good night. I was dancing with 5 chicks. Well, good for you. DeSalva, New Jersey native, came to the Villages around 23 years ago and started playing softball as a shortstop. He made his mark as a manager in Division III by racking up 379 victories in 33 seasons. I enjoy managing. Softball isn't rocket science. You have to be able to get along with all kinds of people. Well, that let me out. You have to have patience and understanding. DeSalva is 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighs slightly over 100 pounds. Don't let his diminutive size fool you. He is a fierce competitor. And it's a long article. I'm not going to read all of it, but I will say congratulations. That is quite an accomplishment. Seriously, congratulations. Letters to the editor. We haven't done them for a while. Our home was less than 3 years old. First window problem was within the first year. These last 2 were found about 6 weeks ago. Since we just sold the property, they took $225 out of our closing. The fixing of the window will take 6 more weeks. So we also would like our money back from the manufacturer. That is sent in by Jerome Morella from the village of Chitty Chitty. Well, Jerome, and you can pass this along to anybody else that you may know. I did a video and did a talk about window problems here in the village just 2 or 3 years ago. Apparently you don't watch and you're not a subscriber and you like to go with them fluffy channels that never have anything bad to say. They're fogging up, the seals are breaking and everything. And I even did a video about the conversation I had with the warranty department and how they're sidestepping all of it. All they do is give you a phone number of the manufacturer and they say you have to work it out with them. So we called. At that time, I believe, I think it was Anderson Windows. I won't swear to it. And I think it was in Cleveland or someplace. Anyway, we called and Sue called. And we were told that they didn't have the materials to build the windows. This is right at the very beginning of kind of like COVID. And so we said, okay, but we want them replaced under the warranty situation. And we called 2 or 3 times after that. Nah, no material. We can't do it. We can't ship them. The shipping is way behind because nobody's traveling because of the COVID, blah, 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 blah. Here we are pushing my 10-year warranty. I think we're 9 years and I'm starting to push to 10. And then I hear from somebody, I haven't verified any of this, that the warranty part of your windows has been sold to Romac, which they're over here pretty close to Spanish Springs. And they are the ones that installs all the garage doors in the villages and all the trusses on the roofs of the houses. That comes from Romac. And I'm sure they do other things there too. I don't know, but that's where all that comes from. And the windows are crap. I talked about it. They're crap. They're cheap. They're crap. I've never had any cheaper windows in any house. And we always thought that as time went on, we would probably use these until we started seeing signs like this thing of windows fogging up, which shows that the seal is not working. And then we'll just upgrade them to another kind of window. Well, since COVID, the windows that we would like to have is really went up. To replace all the windows in my house is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, they told me, 10 to 14,000 depending. I don't know what that means. Well, I just don't have the 10 or 14,000 right now, so we're just going to have to wait. But I don't care if you got a $500,000 house or a $150,000 house. Let me just be the first to say now, your windows are crap, and they're going to stay that way. I'll tell you something else. Garages here in the villages, and I can't speak of all of them south of 44 because I don't know what the difference is down there compared to everywhere else. But everywhere else, above your garage, the area up there is not insulated. I highly suspect, to save costs, that the outer walls of your garage is not insulated either to save on costs. My garage door had no insulation on it. I had to get it done myself. I did do it myself. And I highly suspect that that the ceiling above my lanai, matter of fact, I don't suspect, I know, it's not insulated up there either. That's why my lanai gets really hot in the summer. I don't have air conditioning out there. So, yeah, they've cut corners on a lot of stuff that I'm not used to from the north. We don't do that up north. When we build something up where I come from, we didn't have these issues at all. So tell your friends about my videos. Keep up with them because I show you all kinds of stuff. What's wrong, what's right. I don't talk about just everything wrong. I show contractors that I've hired here to do things that do a great job. To the editor, with all the foresight the Morris family has had into building this mecca of the villages, what has happened to our movie theaters? One theater is not sufficient for the 130,000 plus people we have now. Well, that figure's way off too, 130,000. We are way past that. Plus the visiting outsiders. Well, it's not outsiders. Everything in the villages is open to the public. We're just a town. That's all we are. We're just a town. There are certain things here that only residents are really supposed to do with their guests, and your guest has to have a temporary guest pass to do them also, supposedly. But everything else is open to the public. There's nothing here that's just you. The squares we do not own. The music on the squares we do not pay for out of any of our amenity fees. Restaurants, all restaurants in the villages, all the movie theaters, all that stuff is open to the public. Anybody can go. One theater is not sufficient for the 130,000 people we now have. We are probably pushing 150,000 people by now. Plus visiting outsiders. What in the world are they doing with the beautiful Brownwood Theater? Speculation that there aren't enough good movies out or too much money cost to reopen. Whatever, the Lake Sumter Theater cannot hold any more saturation of moviegoers. What is going on? That's sent by Marilyn Mays, the Bridgeport of Lake Sumter. Beautiful area, by the way. Bridgeport of Lake Sumter. I love it. Let me be the burden of bad news. And this is just what I see and what I hear and when I talk to people, what's going on. I don't believe they're going to open a Brownwood Theater again. I mean, this is just a guess. I hope I'm wrong because of all the movie theaters, I think that one is the best one. I believe what's going to happen with that, they're either going to make maybe turn that into like an indoor, maybe shopping area, possibly, apartments, but I don't think they're going to reopen it. And the one at Spanish Springs, they've already said they're not reopening that one. That's going to go turn into like an exercise place. There's going to go in there and maybe a small restaurant or something. I don't know, but that's what's going in there. That theater is going to be gone. Why? Well, here's why. Called pay-per-view on your TV. Anybody can do it. It's easy peasy. And you can do it for way less than going to a movie theater. You go to a movie theater. We went to one down in Rockport, Texas. We was down there. By the time I got my popcorn, you got to get movie popcorn. I mean, I know what you're going to say, but I don't care. You got to get movie popcorn and the Cokes and the tickets and everything. It's probably close to, I don't know, $30, $34, something like that by the time we got all that. And then once you get inside, here's what I hate about movie theaters. People are just rude. They sit behind you and they talk back and forth while you're trying to watch this movie that you just paid $34 to watch. People in front of you, they got to check their cell phone every 2 minutes to see if they got a new text message from somebody. They're not supposed to. They know they're not supposed to. They announced it in there a dozen times not to do that, but they do it anyway. Nobody cares. So, you know what? I'm paying $34 for people around me to be really rude. I'm not interested anymore. Pay-per-view, $5 at the most I've ever spent on any movie, and that's the latest and greatest. If there's a movie on at the theater right now, I can get it on my TV for $5, sometimes even less. That's what's going on. The day of the movie theater is going to end up being like the day of the drive-in movies. It's going to go to the wayside. And listen, I'm on your side. I love the Brownwood Theater. To the editor, I have lived in several places and cities in my life. In each of these places, the U.S. mail was delivered to my front door. Here we are, another northerner come down here that loves this place, but they want to change things. Only in the villages do I have to drive a mile to get my mail. I'd walk, but there are no sidewalks. That's them by Nick Lanana, the village of St. Catherine. Well, Nick, first of all, I doubt your mailbox is a mile from your house. I really seriously doubt that because everything is built in a circle. So, your mailbox is generally not that far down the road. But let's just say it is. I don't want to argue about it. Let's just say it is. Did you not do your research before you bought your house? I mean, if having a mailbox close to your house is important to you, then you should have bought a house. And I'm just laying my cards on the table. You should have just bought a house somewhere closer to the mailbox. I've said it 100 times on my channel. Know what it is that's important to you. Know what it is that you think you know what to do on a regular basis. And that'll help you slow down your search or narrow your search down for a house because you want to be close to whatever it is you want to do. In your case, one of the things that's important to you is being close to a mailbox. Well, if you would have took a little bit of my advice, you wouldn't have this problem right now. Second of all, if you'd have done a little bit of research, the Villages has always been this way. There's nothing going on here. This has always been this way. I've been coming in and out of here now for 25 years. And I know there's people that maybe lived here longer than I've been coming here. I was coming here when Spanish Springs was it. There was no other square. And I've watched this place grow dramatically. And I've watched a lot of things change dramatically. But the mailbox service, it's the same now as it was 25 years ago. So sorry that you're having problems with your mail like that, but that's just the way it is. And you're just going to get used to it because they're not changing it. Let's see, we've got a hole in one. Dean McDougal of the village of Bradford got his first hole in one Saturday while playing at the Marsh View Pitch and Putt. He scored the lucky ace on hole number 2. We are super excited, and hopefully this will encourage him to keep golfing, said his wife, Yvonne McDougal. Yeah, that's, I think, what pitch and putt's all about. It's a way of taking somebody that's kind of a beginner, I'll say, and it's a way of introducing you to golf without worrying about hitting them 250 yards straight drives and all that kind of stuff. It's just to get you into it, and I'm glad he got his hole in one. That's great. A new resident of the Villages was thrilled after getting her first hole in one. Kathy Heffelfinger of the village of El Cortez scored the lucky ace on Friday at hole number 2 at the El Santiago Executive Golf Course. She has only lived here 5 months. You know, guys, sometimes in life there are things that just ain't fair. Congratulations, Kathy. Enjoy your hole in one. And always remember that the old ritual is whoever gets the hole in one has to buy a round for everybody you're playing with. Just keep it going. Well, I think that's going to be the news for this week. I believe I've got everything. It's been a real busy week. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. We're doing okay. And as always, watch my videos. That's what keeps this channel going. So with that being said,
Don't leave your keys in the golf cart.